Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rawakwa. That's double honor unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Right. Now, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, titled Moses Commandment. No, Moses commands obedience. I read it off of my book. Now, therefore, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments, which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in to possess the land which Yahweh, the power of your fathers, had given you. Yeah, I was running. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught of it from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, which I command you. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did before because of Baal Peor. That's in the book of Deuteronomy. For all the men that followed Baal Peor, Yahweh thy power had destroyed from among you. They died. But ye that did cleave unto Yahweh your power are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and commandments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Yeah, because all of the other nations, they will see what wisdom and understanding we have because of the Heavenly Father. And the Heavenly Father, what he did was, he made us to be very smart also. But then, because we sinned against him, he took that all away. Isaiah 3:1, for behold, Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay of the and the staff. So the stability and the, which goes into basically wisdom, wiseness. Wait, let me go here. Prophets. Because the prophets had, where is it here? Yeah. They had staffs. Samuel was walking around with a staff, if I'm correct. Samuel with his staff. Here. And he took his staff in his hand. Samuel, 1 Samuel 17:40. And he took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones out of the brook. But yeah, he was walking with his staff. And I think here too. But yeah, so here, go to the book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 1. And the staff, Hebrew 4:9-3:8. Support of every kind. Staff. Walking stick. See the preceding word. Let me see, what's the root word? Stay. Which is the stability, support, support of every kind, as it is said a little after, of food, of drink. Also, the chief persons of a nation, on whom they lean. So, we're not going to have no shepherds. We're not going to have no prophets. Because the prophets are the ones that talk to the people for the Heavenly Father. Just like Moses, he's a prophet. He talked to the people for the Heavenly Father. Pardon. Oh, sorry. Prophet. Alright, as it is written here, Isaiah 7:1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. And also it says in the book of Deuteronomy somewhere that Moses was the first king, unofficial king in Israel. So, where's that again? Let me see. Hmm. I think it is in Deuteronomy 30, 32, sorry, I think. Or it was 33 then. No? Yeah, here. 33, Deuteronomy 33. So, Deuteronomy 33. So, what does it say? It says that. Here. Deuteronomy 33 and 4. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob, which is the law, and the land, the inheritance that we got. And he was king in Jeshurun. So what is Jeshurun? Jeshurun is a nickname for Israel. Jeshurun. Yasharawan is a poetic name for Israel used in the Tanakh or Hebrew Bible, right? It's just a poetic, I wanted to say prophetic. It's a poetic name for Israel. And he was king in Israel, in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Right. So he was actually the unofficial king, the first king of Israel. Not mentioned as a king in this word, like in this in the title, in front of his name. It doesn't say King Moses. That's what I mean. But he was a king, the first king of Israel, unofficially. Daniel chapter 9 verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our power. And what is the voice of the Lord? To walk in his ways, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Right. So the staff represents the prophets, it represents the chief people, and in this case, for example, Moses. Moses was a chief man of a nation. But there's multiple chief people, because Moses set up men over other men. Where was that again? Numbers? Exodus 18. Yeah, Exodus 18 and 25. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. So that's what Moses did, right? He set up men that were over other men. So it shows you that there was a ranking system going on since back then. There were always men over other men to rule over them, whom they can lean on for support and help. And if you read Exodus 18, the whole chapter, you will see. To rule over them with help and questions and stuff like that. Let me get it real quick, because it says here verse 15. First, Exodus 18 and 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear the Heavenly Father, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers over thousands and rulers over hundreds, rulers over of fifties. Rulers and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Right, so that's the stability on whom they lean. The prophets, on whom they also lean for the word of the Heavenly Father, the voice of the Heavenly Father. It says here, Mashain. Yeah, Mashain. It's spelled like this. Mashain. Well, Mashana, but Mashain. And Moses was named Masha, As you can look at this word over here, and then you have, let me see, here you will see how Moses is spelled. Right, it's almost the same. Masha, but then then the H comes at the end, Masha, which is drawn, something drawn, and Moses was drawn out of the water. The prophetic, the prophet and lawgiver, leader of the Exodus. Right, and it is Mashain, right, which is a support staff, and yeah, let me see. Yeah, Hulilin, I think I said it, explained enough about it. So, yeah, so Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay, which is the stability, and the staff, which is, the leaders, prophets, and people that people can lean on. Because we don't have that. Because our shepherds nowadays, they just feeding themselves, man. For example, in America, you have collectively, you have the richest slaves, like so-called black people upon the planet Earth in one area, which is America, right? And still they don't have their own communities, for example. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that they should, but I'm telling you, like, the rich of our people are not taking care of the poor of our people. Meanwhile, you got females like this devil, Oprah Winfrey, being a billionaire, and the other sodomite guy always dressing up in female's clothing. I forgot his name, Medea or something. He's also a billionaire. Anyway, when they have these gated cities, they keep it to lock you niggas out. These communities, right? These gated communities, they keep it to lock you niggas out. They're not making these for you. And it's cave people, Edomites, that build these type of cities, but for themselves. They don't want you in there. That's why they got the gate. Don't come up in here, boy. Fuck out of here. Basically, it's what they're saying. You can't come up in here. But the point is, I have never seen a gated community of so-called black people. What the fuck? Pardon. Of so-called black people, right? So-called black people. This is how they keep y'all out. This is Brazil, yeah. But this is how they keep y'all out. And this is the rest of the people. This is you. And this is them, the Edomites. This is an example. This is Brazil. And most likely, here are the darker skinned people, and here are the Caucus and the other motherfuckers living there. Anyway. How gated communities are splitting Egypt's society. Yeah, here the poor people live, here the rich people. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, so they don't even build communities like that for their own race. They just go live among the cave people. You might see an Oprah Winfrey pop up over here. Those type of people. Those rich so-called black people. You might see them pop up over here, and then the rest of the people are all Edomites, and then maybe a Chinese person over there. But yeah, they're not doing it for themselves with all the money that they collectively have, which is in the billions. And it's also said that, what was it again? You had, let me see. Let me see. African American men and women spend billions of dollars on their hair. They hate their hair so much they just want to look white. But U.S. beauty care companies are missing out. Yeah. Let me see. It says here, black hair industry at more than 2.5 billion. Mintel values the black hair care industry at more than 2.5 billion. That's how much they spend upon them on their hair. It's a lot of money to spend upon your hair, isn't it? Funny as hell. It's $1 trillion business because I remember seeing that. It's not $1 billion. It's actually $1 trillion. Do you know what $1 trillion is? Ah! If you want to spend $1 trillion, hey, shit. I shouldn't have put the KG. I'm really used to that. If someone, okay, how to spend $1 trillion. Wait, let me. Here, I think it's here. Here. Spending 1 million an hour non-stop for 24 hours a day, you wouldn't run out of $1 trillion for 411 years. So more than 411 years it would take you just to spend $1 trillion if you was to spend 1 million an hour non-stop 24/7. Yeah, 24/7. Yeah, 24 hours a day, right? 7 days, 24/7. Just keep on continually doing it. And there's 365 days a year. So you wouldn't run out of $1 trillion even after 411 years. Let that sink in. That's how much money your hair is actually worth. Well, sorry, let me say it different. That's how much money you spend on your hair. You dumb fuck. You could have built hundreds of gated communities, but then again, then you would be in the kingdom. That's why you are sold unto the nations, so that you are underneath them. And you're stupid because you making them rich. US is missing out on a lot of money because you have the hair products for so-called black hair being made in other countries, and then they sell their products in America because they know you niggas is there. You dummy. But anyway, I'm kind of poking fun at my own people, but in the end, we're gonna enslave all you. So you can laugh now, but you're gonna find out who the Israelites are, and who the sons of God are, and who the people of God are, right? Of the Heavenly Father, right? Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. You're gonna find out, but for now, let's all laugh, right? Deuteronomy chapter 4. No. Right, Isaiah chapter 3 and 1. The rest of 1. Doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, so we don't have our own food, and the whole stay of water. We don't have our own water. That's why they can actually do things in Flint, Michigan water. I don't even know how to spell that. Flint, Michigan water, right? This is what you get in Flint, Michigan. And these are the so-called pipes that it comes through. You know, and then they give it to you. If you take a bath with this, look at. If you take a bath with this, you turn into, I don't know, man. You're gonna turn into one of the Marvel characters that had an accident with some chemicals and toxic stuffs and stuff like that. You're gonna have a superpower that's called chronic illness. You're gonna be sick continually. That's the real superpower. You know. But we don't have our own water. We don't have our own food. It's the water in Flint, Michigan. It's the water in Detroit. You know. Yeah, going on. We don't have that as a people. Other race is feeding us and watering us like cattle. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet. See, took that one away. The stability, people on who you lean. And the prudent and the ancient, which are the wiser ones, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer. You have a lot of our people that don't actually make things. And if we do, they steal our inventions. No, just the definition. The definition of artificer.
Artificer.
Artificer. artificer, skilled mechanic, just skilled making things, people that make things. You had all these so-called black inventors. Fruit fly. You had them all, and there's many more than this, man. There's many more than this. You know what I'm saying? There's many more than this. Look, George Washington Carver, among other brilliant jakes. These are our people. Now, some of them might have an Edomite mother, but as you know, you are what your father is, because he carries the seed. So don't worry too much about what your mother is. Right, going on. And the eloquent orator. What is an eloquent person? Fluent or persuasive in speaking or writing. Persuasive. He can explain things, like clearly expressing or indicating something, right? That's somebody that's influent.
Eloquent.
Oh, so I read somewhere influent. Fluent. Yeah, sorry. I read it here and then I said it. Sorry, I mean eloquent. I read it. I wanted to say influential or something, but he is influential because he can influence you. But yeah, fluent, eloquent, right? So an orator is somebody that talks. A public speaker. So the Lord took all this away. He didn't take 100% away, because we still have men of war. Look at Mike Tyson, LeBron James. Those are kind of gladiators, actually, if you think about it, because I can't do what they do. I mean, the Usain Bolts, stuff like that, I can't do what they do. I just look at them and I get tired of it. I'll be like, man, I'm already I win. Well, that's our people, right then and there. So he took this away, but the Lord is going to give it back, of course. The Lord give it and take it, but he give it back. And that part we're going to get back again, according to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And according to a lot of other books, by the way. When the Lord came, and especially in the New Testament, he talks about that we're going to get back what we have lost. Right, so it says here, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Right, in the sight of the nations, this is our wisdom and understanding, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. All the other heathen nations, they knew about it, and I'm going to give you a few examples about it. It says here, no, not that one. See bullet, not this one either. Sorry. Yeah, here. Joshua chapter 1, verse 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. But if you sell out to Satan, you're going to have good success also, but for a little small season. What is a man that selleth his own store, but selleth his, but loses his soul? What is it then? Yeah. Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profited, if he gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? There's nothing to give, because your soul is priceless. But you have a lot of people that do a lot of sacrifice things and stuff like that. And Hollywood, all of a sudden, people end up missing. You got this guy ASAP. loses a beloved every time he released an album. Here.
A$AP Rocky says that every time he releases a new album for his music, someone he knows passes away. What do you think of this?
I don't know, man. Every time I put out an album, for some strange reason, I always lose somebody close to me. My pops, it was jams, it was my sister. Like, I always lose somebody close to me. So, shit feel like, some crazy, like, jinx or something.
Jinx it. It's sacrifice, bro. You sign to them labels and stuff like that. As soon as you put something out, whoops, somebody dies over there in the left. To the left. Right. Somebody get, you know what I'm saying? That's what the Heavenly Father is doing to you by making Satan come on you for selling your soul to these devils for that music, for that money. You want that money? You want that money? You want that money? You want it? Did you profit off of it? Did you gain the whole world? Did you lose somebody you love? Esther 3:8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not the king's profit to suffer them. So he was actually telling the king Ahasuerus, like, these people are different. They don't keep the law. They have different laws amongst themselves. So it is best not to actually allow them to do certain things because they're not going to actually follow your laws. Don't let them follow their own laws. Right. Then you have the editions of Esther, right, which is in the Apocrypha, Esther chapter 13. And I will read until, I think here, but it says, the copy of the letters was this: the great King Artaxerxes writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him, from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces. 127 provinces. 127. After that I become Lord of over many nations and had dominion over the world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, like he's not proud, but carrying myself always with equity and mildness. So he was humble, and equity means fair. The quality of being fair and impartial, right? Fairness, fair-minded, justice, equitableness, and mildness. He was soft toward people. He was mild. He was compassionate. I purposed to settle my subjects, but he was a piece of shit because he hated us too. In the book of First Ezra, chapter 2, you will see that he didn't. He was scared of us. He did, and he didn't like us. But anyway, going on. I propose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable, and open for passage to the utmost coast, to renew peace, which is desired of all men. So he wanted to bring peace on earth, right? So-called. When I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Aman, that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity. What was fidelity again? Fidelity was what was it again? Sorry, I forgot. Faithfulness. Oh yeah, fidelity. Yeah, right. Faithfulness. He really believed loyalty. He was really determined. He believed. He was loyal. And, with steadfast loyalty and fidelity, faith, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom. Declare unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations. So they called us malicious, because in the end, we actually started to fight each other while still keeping certain of the laws and stuff like that. But in the end, we lost all the laws. If you read the book of, let me see, First Ezra chapter 2, you will see that had laws. Let me get it just to show you. Wait, where is it again? Here. First Ezra, here, chapter 2, verse here, 26. I have read the First Ezra 2 and 26. I have read the epistles which ye have sent unto me. Therefore I commanded to make diligent search, and it had been found that that city was from the beginning practicing against kings, and that city was talking about Israel, Jerusalem, the Israelites. And the men therein were given to rebellion and war, as you can read about it here in the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. This is what Habakkuk the prophet saw. O Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me. That's what our people were doing among each other. And there are that rise up strife and contention. They was always fighting, like always looking for trouble. Nigga shit. Like, for example, Chirac. They always trying to kill each other. You know, just some nigga shit, just dumb shit. You just, why the fuck are you doing that, man? Why don't you go shoot that devil over there? No, because you're going to get killed. That's why. He going to come and Black Wall Street you. So, they resort to killing each other. Sucker shit. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. There were more than the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. So yeah, you can read the rest for yourself if you have the time. You have also the book of Isaiah chapter 5, which says 5 and 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. We was oppressing ourselves. The rich, if you read the book of Jeremiah chapter 34, you will see they was oppressing each other. We were oppressing each other. Here, you can read from here until the end. You can read the whole chapter actually. But yeah, it starts here, where they show you that we were oppressing each other. For righteousness, but behold a cry. So instead of finding righteousness, you would find people complaining and crying all the time how bad life is. Right? So, First Ezra chapter 2, verse 27. And the men therein were given to rebellion and war, and that mighty kings and fierce kings were in Jerusalem, who reigned and extracted tributes and in Seleucia and Phoenice. Now therefore I have commanded to hinder those men from building the city, and heed to be taken that there be no more done in it. That's what King Artaxerxes wrote in his letter toward the other people. And they went there and they fought against Israel. And it stayed for like 70 years or something, if I'm correct. It was for 70 years. 70 years. It might say it in the next chapter, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it does say it. It was 70 years, yes, but it was written somewhere. Sorry, they was enslaved in Babylon for 70 years. always do things silly Israelites. Oh yeah, there was. Did I say Babylon? Yeah, but it was 70 years. But there was 70 years in Babylon, yes, and yeah, in Second Ezra's around that time, you see, it's mentioned Jeremiah was in that time there too. So yeah, that's right, right. Anyway, so yeah, they messed us up for a long time. The Lord messed us up for a long time. Actually, He allowed them to do it because we sinned against Him. We was fighting amongst each other. So He just said, "Oh, so you want to fight? You really want to fight? Okay, okay. I'm gonna bring all these nations to come and fight you and give you a real fighting. You know, they're gonna whoop your ass too. You know, and yeah. Since you want to fight, I mean, you want to fight, right? Okay, there you go. Right. So, the book of Esther, chapter 13, verse. Let's start it for. Declare unto us that in all nations throughout the world there were scattered a certain malicious people. Malicious. We actually were. But not in the beginning. We turned out to be. We turned out to be a bunch of malicious people. Malice. Intending or intended to do harm. Especially among each other. Hostile. That's why you go. That's why if you go to these certain neighborhoods of our people, it's not actually safe for their own, you know. Especially if you're from out of town and you come to visit somebody over there, they're gonna ask you stupid questions like, "Hey, what you coming to do over here, man?" You know what I'm saying? Which set you claim or just stupid stuff, man. And that shit that don't make any sense. Like you can't walk here on the street, man. It's my street. You know what I'm saying? It's my hood. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You be looking at them like the cave male gave you this, man. What the fuck you talking about? And he's gonna take it from you too. That's why he put that water in Flint, Michigan, in your neighborhoods. How about that? Why don't you pull up on him? Talking about, give me some water, white boy. Give me some water. Why don't you go do a drive-by for some water over there, sucker? Put some cocaine up in that water, make it taste better. It'll numb your ass from actually feeling the illing effects from drinking that water. Why don't you sprinkle yourself up with some cocaine so that you don't feel when you're dying. How about that? You're numb to it. When you're infected with that water. How about that? And continually despise, malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations and continually despise the commandments of kings. They hated it. They didn't want other nation kings also to rule over them, but so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men. Our people never like listening to other people. They don't even listen to themselves. They don't even listen to the Lord. As you can see here, they're just stubborn. Every man wants to do according to his own ways. Let me see. Ezekiel in Israel. Judges chapter 12 verse 21. In those days there were no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. So that's bullshit because man's goings are just full of stupidity. You're supposed to follow what the Heavenly Father actually tells you to do so that you can live good and prosperous. That's in the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 7 and 8. We would be prosperous if we lived after the laws of the Lord which Moses put before us to do. So it says here, Ezekiel chapter 2 verse Rather than yeah, but for they will not hear me. Let me see something. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, hearken unto Ezekiel. For they will not hearken unto me, the Heavenly Father. For all the house of Israel are impotent and hard-hearted. What is impotent? They're disrespectful, not showing due respect for another person. And in this case, impotent toward the Heavenly Father, and hard-hearted because they're stiff-necked, they're stubborn, incapable of being moved to pity or tenderness, unfeeling, cold, heartless, harsh, unsympathetic, uncaring. They don't care. They're just hard-headed, man. They're a bunch of knuckleheads. Hard as nails. A knucklehead. You know, pitiless. That's actually also because inhumane. I mean, running up on a dude, popping him like 50, 55 times. Just because, you know, he sold dope on your block. He was also killing your own people, but you killed him for that. You want to be the one that kills your own people by selling dope to yourselves in your own neighborhoods. You don't want him to do it too. You don't want two hands to filthy up your neighborhood. You just want a pair of hands, not two pairs. You know, just an example. Right? So they're not listening. Not to other people and not to themselves. So Esther chapter 13 verse 5. Seeing Right. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can that our kingdom may not be firmly established. So they was working against kings, by the way. That's kind of a good thing. That's a good thing. But we also was working against ourselves. Therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Aman, who is ordained over the affairs, and is next unto us, shall all with their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month Adar of this present year, that they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter caused our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. Then Mardoshius thought upon all the works of the Lord, and made his prayer unto him, saying, O Lord, Lord, the King Almighty, for the whole earth is thy power, and if thou hast appointed to save Israel, there is no man that can gainsay thee. Right. So it also says that wrench. Here. Addition to Esther again. Chapter, let me see. Here. Esther chapter 7. No, it was not the addition. It's just chapter 7. Esther chapter 7 verse 15. But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch had delivered to utter destruction, are no evildoers, but live by most just law. So if we actually kept the law, we were actually very good people. And all the other nations, they saw it. They know that hey, these people are good. They knew it. They called us the beauty of the earth. But that is what Moses told us to do. We should keep the laws, and then we will be we would be a great people in the eyes of all the other people upon the planet Earth. We would be better than them. So let me see back over here. Now you can read the rest for yourself if you have the time. Let me see. Addition to Esther again, chapter 16, verse 15. But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch had delivered to utter destruction, are no evildoers, but live by most just laws. So they knew that we were a righteous people if we lived by the laws. And that's what Moses said. If you live by these laws, you shall be, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6, keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear of these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So Moses told us to do that, but we didn't. We started to fight amongst each other and stuff like that. But in the beginning, when these people saw us, they actually did speak great of us. Like, hey, and these are actually good people. Wait, second, that's just chapter 5, verse 23. And said, Yahweh that bears rule of every wood of the earth, and of all trees thereof. Thou hast chosen the only vine, which is grape. This is the Heavenly Father, his favoritism. And of all the lands of the world, thou hast chosen the one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily. So the favorite flower of the Lord is a lily. And the favorite pit on the planet Earth, the place, is Jerusalem.